what it is not it's not a message. That's why people will say there's no message. This isn't a message. There's no communication. It's not a communication. But what is that communication that's not a communication? Well, what it is, what I would say, how I would say, what I'm saying all the time, is that it's, well, it's a response to this energy of looking for a communication, looking for a message. It's not a message because there isn't a message. There is no message. If there were a message, then maybe there would be a communication and there would be something to say. There's nothing to say. There isn't something to say because there is no message, because there's nothing like that here. There's not a person who needs to hear something, who's missing an experience or an understanding or missing something that would be held in the message, and then another person who is going to throw the message to that person, have them catch it. That isn't here. There's just this, and that's all. It doesn't have a message. It doesn't have a ball to throw, right? And there's no one to catch a ball. That whole structure that goes on in the story of communicating, in the story of learning, the story of developing an understanding, the story of getting from being here in illusion and waking up, dropping the illusion, dropping what's false, dropping what's artificial, getting free. No, there's nothing like that. There is just what is, which isn't free. It's not clarity. It's not truth, because all of those things are part of the story of moving from one thing to another, from illusion to truth, from being separate from my true nature to falling into truth, from being bound in my story to relaxing into freedom. All these stories. That's not what is. What is simply what is, as it is. Hasn't happened, doesn't have a story to it. It's just what is. So all of these, I'm going back to this jargon, and all these different cliches and different standard ways of presenting this so-called communication is just all part of pointing to the fact that there's nothing to understand. There is nothing to be presented in a series of words, a series of jargon expressions. The jargon expressions are all pointing to the fact that there's nothing to say, and that sounds, very esoteric. But the fact is, it's already said. That's the thing that's being pointed to. Whatever there would be contained in a communication is already just what is. It's already here just as this, as what is, as sitting on a couch, as what is, what already just is, exactly as it's appearing to. And it's not appearing to anyone. And there's nothing in the appearance. right? There's nothing to be found or understood or taken from the appearance. Appearance is just simply the appearance. There's nothing behind it. There's nothing that it means. There's nothing to be gotten from it. And that's all that is being pointed to. That whatever could be said is already here as whatever is. So of course there's no communication, because what would be communicated? Well, maybe what is already a communication to no one, from no one, about no one. There isn't anything for it to be about. So the jargon doesn't mean anything. And, people sometimes will complain about this jargon. Why are these people all parroting the same thing? Or why are they, over and over again, just saying the same sort of meaningless phrases and meaningless, Well, I'm saying because this is not, it's not something to be understood. There's no content to the so-called message, the so-called communication. It's not pointing to anything. It's pointing to the fact that there's nothing here to be understood, to be anything, to be done anything with, to be gotten. It's already gotten. It's already done. And there's a showing up energy of needing to get done. That's the me experience. The person is needing to get done and doing it. In the process of trying to get done, trying to get completed, get this thing done to the point where it doesn't need to be worked anymore. And in the meantime, there's the working, the trying to understand. And then this pointing that there's nothing to understand because there isn't anyone, and there isn't any that game of understanding. Even though it shows up and goes on as an appearance, isn't happening. And it's not happening to you is the point. Because there isn't anyone. What there is this, just as it is. And that's it.